Fruity Loops is what the old program in the 90s that
I'm so sorry I burped. That's disgusting.
No, I can't smell anything.
You keep saying that. Do you have a problem with your sense of smell?
Yeah, I can't smell.
All right. We're going to get started. I'm a scat man. Welcome to the newest and latest and shiniest episode of Ding. Is that your sound of a shine?
Yeah, that's
of the Invested Podcast. My name is Terrence. I'm with Connor.
Yeah, here I am.
It's a pretty relaxed episode. We got some news to talk about that I have written down on my phone, as I usually do, as one usually does. We have a Jurassic World 2 trailer, The Fallen Kingdom teaser trailer. There's not much to talk about because there's not much that happened in that trailer.
I didn't see any dinosaurs.
No, there's not one single dinosaur, but that's fine. No Jeff Goldblum.
Dinosaurs is kind of a weird word. You know what I mean?
You have to say it like the DNA guy, though. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, there you go. Why is it a weird word?
When they're doing the presentation.
Yeah, in the first one, yeah.
And it's the little blood.
He's DNA.
DNA.
He's not blood.
He's in the blood. He's from the blood. Or no. Yeah. Or remember when they prick John?
Yeah.
Just like, I love you.
Yeah, and then
go ahead.
Yeah, and then the DNA comes out.
And he's like, oh, that hurts. And it's like...
It's a good joke. It's a good solid joke. We're going to have a discussion on Nirvana, the band, the show. Which is
Nirvana, the band!
But we're gonna We're going to do some news. The news. I have a lot of Marvel news, and I have a lot of DC news, but we're going to start with neither of those news with Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Is being said to be a fresh and fun romp. It's having positive early showing reviews. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? I never got to ask you on that. What do you think?
The Jumanji romp.
I hate it, but also I feel like it's going to be fun.
Well, I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything to get me excited. I'm just like...
Jack Black gets me excited. And Dwayne Johnson always
Jack Black
as well.
does not get me excited.
Really? I think he's funny.
It depends on what he's doing, I think. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's... I just haven't... It's never been a situation where I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. It's your boy. It's your boy, Jack Black.
Like School of Rock.
School Rock was fun, but at the same time, like...
Do you have a problem with School of Rock?
I think that it hasn't... Not that it hasn't aged particularly well, but I think that I was at a time...
I don't like where this is going.
I watched it at a time in my life where I thought it was really fun.
It is fun.
And there's stuff in it I like, but there's a weirdness to it. There's a weird element of them, like... And it's kind of a meta thing, too, of him using the kids to further his own agenda.
Are you saying Jack Black did that?
Yeah.
He didn't write that movie.
Well, he didn't write that movie, but he sure as heck was part of it. And I think that there's this huge thing with Jack Black where he's like this kind of strange representative of the mainstream rock. Like he's like a pseudo rock historian, or at least that's the image he presents. And I find it to be a slightly not disingenuous, but a little, I don't know. He hasn't. I don't feel like he's done anything that productive with it since School of Rock, because like that's what Tenacious D was based off, right? Is him and Kyle forming the idea of rock and you know, in a parody, in sort of a comedic sense, but to a degree they weren't 100% like joking. There was some. It was that balance of like they're actually kind of talented musicians who do embrace the medium, but at the same time it is comedy and it's parody.
I agree. He hasn't done anything really special, but I still think he's. I don't know. I just laugh at. I just like him.
Wasn't he in King Kong?
Yeah, I loved him.
This is so weird. It's like it's like downgraded King Kong.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it feels like.
A little bit fatter too. I think this movie is going to be fun and stupid and bad all at the same time.
I mean, I don't even know who's directing it and writing it.
I don't either. I could look it up, but I don't care enough.
Look it up.
Fine.
I want to see it.
God. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
I bet you it's somebody.
Jake Kasdan is the director.
Is he the son of Lawrence Kasdan? That's super weird.
He's responsible for Bad Teacher, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story, which is actually kind of funny, Sex Tape, Orange County.
So really only one watchable movie.
Yeah, it seems that way.
That's the weird thing. Is like, you take a comedy director, or comedy. That's I use that word lightly, but like you take a comedy director and then you give them like a genre property, and it's super weird. I feel like that's what happened with Ghostbusters too. Is you take a director who does comedies and then you give them the property to be like, here, do it in a new fun way. And I think that way kind of lies madness, because you need people who are genre first and then comedy second. I feel like Lord and Miller are genre first.
Yeah.
Not comedy first. Even though they're really funny.
I need to put my headphones in. I gotta be able to hear us. I gotta know what we sound like. Okay, that's good.
But again, this it can be fun. The trailer is the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
it's the group of kids. They transform and like, whoa.
Then they
different.
ask, "Where's this? Where's this? Where's this?"
It feels like the trailer feels like a weird disjointed first 5 minutes of the movie. And part of me is, a lot of comedies are improvised, especially like as we saw with Ghostbusters. I don't know how much you know about that movie, but it was super improvised, like so much of it.
Yeah, I've not seen the whole thing. I've seen bits and pieces, and I don't care to watch the rest of it.
I watched a lot of like YouTube documentaries about it, and it's like it's a nightmare. And it's just improv has its place, but it's like it's supposed to heighten a moment. Like you have an idea of what you're doing, and then you use it to. It's it's like catching lightning in a bottle, but it's not supposed to be something you do all the time. And also, if you do improv for a movie, it has to be character motivated, because if it's not character motivated, there's no point to it. Or
a lot of it's just actor motivated.
Yeah, and people think that like a lot of actors think that like mugging for the camera and just being silly is character. And it's like, you have to improvise in character, and then that yields, along with instinct, that will probably could yield a good scene if you have a good scene partner. But and also you need a director who's able to spring on those opportunities in a real constructive manner.
Yeah, I suppose
like Ivan Reitman.
I don't know how that
did
is.
a good job. He directed Ghostbusters, right? I'm pretty sure.
The original.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, okay, not the new. Yeah, I thought you were talking about that. Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, it's what's his face to the new one.
That guy. I don't like that guy. Whatever his name is.
His name. It's so funny. I knew his name. It's Paul Feig. Paul Feig. I was trying to say Kevin Feige. Remember when Kevin Feige directed Ghostbusters?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he took a break from the Marvel stuff, and then. All right, so I have news from both Marvel and DC. What do you want first? DC first? I have less for DC. I have more for Marvel.
Let's do Marvel because it'll be funnier when we do the DC one.
Okay. So Marvel has announced. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we're gonna do that one last. So we're gonna do some Marvel, DC, and then the one last.
Oh,
one.
Okay. All right. I like it.
So Kevin Feige is it Feige or Feige? Kevin Feige.
I think Feige's more fun to say.
Kevin Feige has announced that Avengers 4 will be a quote finale to the MCU.
Oh, it's the last movie.
But no, it's not the last movie. So what does this mean? Because then he also said there are 20 movies planned after Avengers 4.
That's one long finale.
So do you think when he says finale, does he mean like this storyline, this arc,
Probably.
And then after that they'll just like keep making like single solo movies?
Yeah, it'll probably be new characters, maybe some interactions with older characters, but mostly new. Probably like they'll do like the Thor Ragnarok thing where it's like team up movies.
Yeah, a couple.
We'll probably get more movies that are like Civil War and Thor Ragnarok where every hero's involved. Then
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
as long as it's not like Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't want another Avengers, a different, because then it's like Avengers 6, Avengers 7. It's like not the same. I'd rather it be like the 3 or 4 with the characters we know.
Well, it makes
be done with that.
Are the Avengers the main characters of the Marvel Comics universe? Because I don't feel like I understand them.
They kind of are.
That's so strange to me.
Who do you think is?
The main character of the Marvel Comics universe. Maybe Spider-Man.
They're like the center though. They're not the main character because the
I feel like Fantastic Four kind of is.
They're the main. Contender. They're the main team. The Avengers are the main.
That's true.
The Avengers are the Justice League.
X-Men are pretty popular, although they're not really main characters. They're more side characters. Yeah, that's a strange one. I would say Spider-Man is the main character of Marvel Cinematic.
Yeah,
or the Marvel Universe. I keep saying Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Also, I don't know if you saw this yet, but Vanity Fair, I think it was, released the first images of the character images for the new Marvel movie that's going to come out with, all the characters and stuff. So, can you try to explain to me what's going on with Black Widow's hair and why it's blonde? She got blonde hair.
Oh, wow. I guess,
So they all look really uncomfortable, first of all. And Jeremy Renner's hair is like the worst I've ever seen in my life.
I guess they're trying to make him look like their current comics counterparts, I guess. I don't know. Or no. They're trying to make them look like their 80s their 90s counter comic. Their 90s counterparts in the comics.
Oh, here we go. Here's a better image. So this is all of them.
Yeah, this is super weird.
Isn't it weird? It's like a weird thing.
Are these supposed to be the teams, I guess?
I don't know. Like, why would Pepper Potts be hanging out with Spider-Man and Peter Quill and Doctor Strange?
Oh, maybe because they're all...
like, Falcon looks so uncomfortable.
They all have the letter P in their names?
They all look so... Like, look at Chris Hemsworth's face. Like, he's not into it at all. Does it not look uncomfortable to you?
Which one, Chris Hemsworth?
All of them.
Well, I don't know if I can't imagine them like standing all together. It looks like they're probably all photoshopped in.
It looks... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe. Because it kind of looks like no one knew what the direction was. Like, what are we supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah, it feels like a Friends cover. And because they wanted to do every major player on the thing, but they couldn't fit them onto the thing. They couldn't fit them onto the screen. That's so funny. Okay,
so what I'm looking at now is that I was like, why wouldn't they put Iron Man with Captain America and Thor and Hulk together? Like, why Falcon and Black Widow? And then I feel like, they're trying to put like the major... They're trying to spread them out. Yeah. So Spider-Man's the head of this one. Why wouldn't they put Thor, though?
Super weird.
Isn't this strange?
Are these, like, the same issue, or are these separate?
Yeah, they're all the same issue because they all say the same thing. O.J. Simpson's post-prison hell and all that stuff.
That's a very... If that's your headline, that's what you're going with? All right, man. Yikes.
It's marvelous.
That's weird.
So, but that came out. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't really know what to think.
It's weird. It's weird. It feels like one of those things that, like Marvel has nothing to do with, and somebody who works, like, at the PR department at Marvel and somebody at Vanity Fair were like, oh, hey, do you want to do a cover for the one? It's like, I got Photoshop. Okay, but... just Photoshop him in.
Thor has his hammer, and he doesn't have and he has both eyes.
Yeah. That's... There's some freaking shenanigans happening here. This is some...
Why does he have his hammer?
Malarkey.
I get why the eye thing is not everybody's seen. So, like, in the trailers, they didn't, poke his eye out.
Maybe he got a new eyeball.
Why does he have his hammer, though?
And a new hammer. Tony Stark was like, let me build you a new eyeball. Oh, he got the eyeball from the dude from Guardians.
Oh, yeah, the one that...
keeps losing his eye.
Yeah, keeps losing his eye. All right, well, that's what I got for that. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it's just like, I understand branding, I understand marketing, but it's like, at least make it clever, at least make it like...
Make it look like they tried.
Yeah, at least distract me from the fact that it's a fucking
look
corporate...
Look at how straight Robert Downey Jr. is standing in this picture. He just doesn't know... And this pose that Falcon's in. He's like, meh, I'm flying.
They're not even doing something fun like the fucking Last Supper with the Avengers characters, or like Creation of Adam. That's always a fun...
This one's not bad.
Little meme to do.
The one with Captain America and Vision and them. This one looks okay because they're just like looking straight on.
Well, I think thematically, like, it's weird because all their suits are kind of dark, and like they're all kind of the more down to earth, grounded, no nonsense kind of. They're the stoic members of the teams, relatively, And so it makes them thematically look like a black ops for the Marvel universe, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But that's like...
But this last one confuses me the most.
Yeah, that's super strange.
The Pepper Potts, Peter Quill, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man.
Well, it's Stephen Strange, Pepper Potts, Peter Parker. So it's like their names are... Their first and last names are doubled.
Yeah,
except for
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill. Yeah, that's
odd.
But he's in the center, so maybe they're showing a polarity of...
They didn't try that hard.
They didn't try that hard.
They didn't think that much about this. Okay, well, I don't know.
And I hate what that says at the bottom. It says "Marvelous."
It's marvelous. Like, it was, yeah.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Marvelous.
It sounds like a weird...
Incredible origin
Tim
story.
Burton
Amazing
creature.
future plans. It's marvelous.
It's like a gopher that digs underground, like underneath like campfires, and then when people are doing s'mores, it like scratches all the dirt underneath and creates like a tunnel, and like all the campers fall in, and then starts like eating them.
It's marvelous.
It's marvelous. And it looks like a greyhound, but it's like a sloth greyhound.
Yeah.
And it's like totally petrified white skin.
It's terrible.
It's marvelous.
What are you doing? All right,
Essentially, what I'm describing is what do you call it? A Wendigo.
A Wendigo.
Wendigo.
A Wendigo.
Wendigo.
I like Wendigos. Those are cool.
A Winnebago.
A Winnebago. Winnebago. All right, so DC fans.
Really accepted?
No, it's because it's a thing. It's a thing that exists. DC fans are pushing with a petition for Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. He says he's very flattered, but it's not going to happen.
I'm very flattered.
So,
but that's a bad idea.
So Justice League, the failure of Justice League, people are blaming it on the fact that it wasn't a Zack Snyder film.
I think that's the only saving grace it had.
I agree. So I don't understand. So to me, this seems like they were like, yeah.
I don't understand why they gave him that much power.
I don't either. It's every movie. He's like,
it's insane.
If this tragedy didn't happen with his family, which I do feel very sorry for,
of course,
he would keep going. He would just keep going.
I know. It's like, yikes. Oh god.
And they keep failing, and why wouldn't they replace him?
Yeah, it's like just do something different. It's super strange. I don't understand.
The one DC movie that had like a decent director did well, which was Wonder Woman.
Right. Yeah, and that's a different person. It's a different person.
Mean, a different person did Suicide Squad, and that didn't work.
Right, that's true. Well, do we know what Patty Jenkins had did before? Because she might have had a good track record.
Yeah, she did something.
Actually, David Ayer kind of had a good track record.
Yeah.
But I think David Ayer, honestly, like, I think David Ayer might have gone crazy.
Did Monster, which was her big one, and then 5, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. Like, she wasn't really known for anything.
Okay.
I heard Monster was pretty good, though.
Well, she's kind of at the... Not the start of her career, because she's probably been doing this for like 10 years and just hasn't gotten credit for it yet.
Yeah.
But she's kind of finally in control of projects in a very tangible way.
Yeah.
And I feel like David is, like, what I've seen from the new movie he's doing, Bright, for Netflix, like, after having read, like, the script and now, like, seeing the trailers, like, it's a very different animal.
Is that with Will Smith?
It is, yeah. It looks kind of fun, but the script...
Is that out yet? I thought it came out.
Oh, is it out? I have no
Maybe
idea.
It didn't come
I've been
out.
sleeping on that.
God, who knows? I don't know.
I thought it was like a Christmas release.
Maybe.
Because like they're trying to market it like a Harry Potter, like a big holiday release.
Oh.
But I think that like it's just so strange because that script was really fun and it was a very unique genre piece and it had a lot of potential. And then with the trailers now, like what I'm seeing is they've really changed it a lot. Like they kept some of the tone, but I mean to say that they kept some of the tone is oversimplification. They have, it's like a pastiche of the tone of the original script, which for people who haven't read the script, they're probably going to be like, this is fine. Like they'll be like it'll be like a nice enjoyable blockbuster movie, but before it actually had a little bit of like meat to it, you know, like if like it's essentially if you like movies like Training Day or End of Watch, but you wanted like Lord of the Rings infused with that perfectly, like a Tolkien-esque
weird mixture.
cop movie. It's a weird mixture, but it works perfectly in the script that I read.
Okay.
It's like it makes sense.
This is
all
for
the
what?
issues
What
are
is it for
addressed. Bright.
Oh, Bright. Okay.
That's it's a Max Landis movie.
Max Landis.
Max Landis.
My love-hate relationship with Max Landis.
I
absolutely despise that guy. I like him though. Sorry, it's weird.
I think it's just his personality in interviews. I think that's like the part, and it's funny because his personality's changed now. In interviews now, he's much more calmed down.
Yeah,
but back in the day,
that's
he was
true. Like I saw him on the Millennial Falcon.
Millennium Falcon, yeah.
I liked him on.
Is she still doing those?
I don't. Screen Junkies is a mess right now.
Yeah.
They'll throw out like a video here and there, and I'll be like,
Eesh. Yikes! Yikes!
They do honest trailers now, though. They're back on those.
We're back on those.
Those are back every Tuesday. It's weird though.
That's weird, because part of me is like, should they keep going or should they quit? You know, because
for those of people who don't know what we're talking about.
Oh God! I feel like everybody knows.
Well, everybody should know, but one of Screen Junkies are the people who do the honest trailers and things like that. And one of the head guys who was also very big on the videos. He did a lot of. He was production, and he was also like a face. Andy Signor, which I didn't like him at all, really, in any of his stuff. He just kind of annoyed me. He was accused and founded. I don't know if he was ever like tried or anything like that.
He's like a spare dude.
Yeah, he's like a spare guy. Such a spare guy.
You're always around when I don't need a guy around.
And so he was fired for sexual whatever he did, his conduct, and the whole channel like fell apart. Like they stopped making videos for like a month, and then they came back with an apology video. Yeah, and then they came back.
There was an apology video?
Yeah, did you see the video? Oh, it's not an apology video. It was like a video where like the rest of the people, the 5 people, it was like, I don't know their names, whatever, all sat at a table and like solemnly discussed what they're gonna do. And
that's weird.
Yeah, it was
That's super weird.
It was very uncomfortable. It was like 8 minutes long.
Look at us discussing this.
Yeah, but they were talking to the fans. They were like, "Sorry, this is what's happening. Just stick with us, and we'll be back with."
Did they do that after a season of True Blood? They apologized for how bad the season was. The creator comes on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was like,
sad.
yeah, I think it was at the end of the 3rd season. He comes on and he's like, "You guys were doing a lot of exciting stuff in the next season. So just stick around. We tried real hard.
Just hang in there.
Not everything worked out. We crossed some wires, a little bit of bells and whistles.
So
what the fuck are you talking about?
Anyway, Screen Junkies, they're coming back, I guess. I'm waiting for Movie Fights to return with a new, because Andy used to host Movie Fights.
Oh yeah.
And he was my least favorite part of Movie Fights. I liked the Movie Fights, but I couldn't stand him because so it's just, I don't know, something about him. And
I feel like he was kind of like milk toast. You know what I mean?
Milk steak.
Milk steak, yeah. He's kind of milk steak. He's just kind of like, bland.
Yeah, he's like that one guy.
Just a spirit guy.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Anyway, we kind of moved off track there. So, with more DC news. Anyway, so what do you think? Do you think Zack Snyder could have made a better DC Justice League movie?
No. Zack Snyder, again, is very similar to David Ayer. I think they both have the same thing, where they've gotten a little too crazy. I remember Zack Snyder did 300, and that was like it's not a masterpiece, but it's
I hated that movie.
It's his best movie, I think. It's very passable. Watchmen is atrocious, but at the same time, it's like there's fun scenes in it. Yeah. Like the best scene in the Watchmen movie is the what do you call it? The fight scene at the very beginning with Eddie Blake and Veet. Spoilers for Watchmen.
That's the very beginning. It's the first scene, isn't it?
Well, you don't know it's Veet till the end.
Oh, that's true.
So spoilers you just got spoiled for one of the greatest graphic novels.
Yeah, you microphone, you got spoiled.
You got spoiled.
So anyway, yeah, he's not going to do a Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. We got what we got, and people got to deal with it. I feel like the reason why they're saying they're doing this is because they're trying to find a reason for it being bad. Mm-hmm. Or not as good as they want, or doing poorly, and so they're like, it's because it wasn't Zack Snyder.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, that's
instead of just being like, no, they just did a bad job. They should do better.
I really hate that contrarian argument that people make sometimes. It's like, well, it's bad because you didn't commit all the way, and it's like, yeah, sure, anything could be bad if you don't commit all the way, but it's like you do what you can, and then you notice the areas of progress. It's like people don't want to pay attention to the facts of quality, when it comes to a lot of things. It's like Jesus, it's like there's no like I feel like the people who are in charge of this stuff, there's a weird sense of delusion.
Yeah.
It's like, do you actually know what's happening? Do you actually know like that how people are reacting to this that aren't, and it's funny because people are like, well, the fans love it. It's like, yeah, the fans are always going to love it. The fans will love bad stuff.
That's why they're fans.
That's why they're fans.
Yeah.
It's like you have to make something that is good enough that appeals to everybody. And if you want to go niche, that's fine, go niche, but don't release to a mass market and expect people everywhere to fall over themselves. Like, whoa, what a fantastic blockbuster that, transcends its fucking target audience. It's like get out of here.
Speaking of Justice League, so it's been confirmed that Paramount rejected WB's offer to CGI a mustache. So what happened was WB apparently
I like how Paramount's still around.
No, they took existing footage of Superman that they had, and they CGI'd a mustache onto him, and they sent it to Paramount, and were like, look how easy this is. Look at how good that looks. We will do this for you if you let us shave that mustache. And Paramount was like, no, not going to happen. So
you must climb the mountain to come see us.
I just think that's just really funny to me.
I had no idea they were still in business. The last thing I saw from Paramount was they sold Avengers to Disney, and so at the beginning of the first Avengers movie, you see the Paramount logo.
Paramount is the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they still do stuff.
They used to do Indiana Jones because I remember that shot where it's the Paramount Mountain, and then it turns into the mountain in the Indiana Jones movie.
That was like a first for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Now every movie does it.
Oh, they do? Oh, yeah, I guess
almost,
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paramount likes to do stuff with it, like in the Transformers movies. The sound of the Transformers is happening when like the stars are flying by.
Oh God! It's like, I wonder which sound editor was like, you know what I want? You know what I really want? I want it to sound like somebody's like jumping on a cello. Someone's taking roller skates to a bass guitar. I think that's
it's just like metal things spinning.
Pleasing noise.
Yeah.
Well, metal things spinning sounds like a clock, like right?
Well, no, that's only if you tick it. But I'm talking about like metal, like thin sheets of metal spinning really fast, and then another thin sheet of metal spinning in the opposite direction, and you get them to touch each other while it's happening. And it's like
I feel like that would create one unique sound or one unique discord, but
we should create our own instruments.
It's like too many things happening, and you're like, how do your bodies? What are the Transformers' brains like?
They're computers. Do they have brains?
I don't know.
I don't want to talk about this. All right, I have one last thing to talk about. Marvel Studios has announced that they have the rights to over 700 characters. Why do you think
the weirdest brag ever?
I know. Why would they announce that?
Listen, we're doing great. We got the rights to 700 characters. We got Flame Guy. We got Water Guy. We got the
Ice
Human
Guy.
Beetle.
Do you think it's like, okay, so it's like all the Avengers we already know and all these characters, and then it's like Captain Marvel, Ghost Rider, and then from there they're just like, and all the mutants.
We got Ghost Rider's best friend, Jim.
Oh, they don't own the mutants. That's Fox, actually. Fox. All right, so my question for you, Connor,
what are those 700 characters?
First of all, who are the 700 characters? But like
Goliath.
Is there anyone that you know that you would like to see them make a movie of?
We got Moon Knight. We got Moon Knight over here. Okay, is there any Marvel character
that we haven't seen yet that they probably own in that 700 list?
A Marvel character that they own? I mean,
just like what Marvel character would you like to see in a movie? To be added to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I mean.
That's a really good question.
I know, that's why I asked it.
I mean, it's like, what do I find interesting? I like She-Hulk. I think that she's great. I don't know if they own her. I think they do.
They must.
This is gonna sound. I mean, it's funny because it's like naming my favorite characters, but it's like I'm just naming my favorite Marvel comics because it's like two Marvel comics I really loved was the She-Hulk comic book that came out a couple years back. That was really fun. Like her just being a lawyer, that was great. And the other one is fucking Superior Spider-Man. Doc Ock as Spider-Man.
All right, well that's a
want.
comic book. That's a comic book. I'm talking about like characters though.
Yeah, I want Doc Ock as Spider-Man. That's what I want the most. I want Doc Ock as Spider-Man.
Okay, I don't think that'll ever happen though.
It will never happen.
No,
and it breaks my heart.
I can't think of any
so fun.
of any comic book like Marvel characters that I don't know about that could be a good movie. I wanted to see
Moon Knight would be fun.
Moon Knight would be fun. I wanted to see a Ghost Rider movie, but like in the vein of like, or like even if it's a Netflix series, like rated R,
like scary,
terrifying horror movie.
That'd be fun.
Of Ghost Rider. I think we talked about this. I don't know whose idea was it, but I have it in my head of like the movie follows the victims, and the movie is the Ghost Rider's the villain, like the monster of the horror movie, and he's just going to kill them all.
That's fun. I'd watch that.
Yeah. It would be like a western though. It'd be like
a
modern,
horror western?
like a more modern time horror western. Yeah.
Wow.
It would take place in like New Mexico or something like that, where Ghost Rider's on his motorcycle and like yeah. What do you think of that idea?
I like it.
You want to write it for me?
Yeah. So we got it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So that's all I have for news today. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that trailer that we watched.
Trailer trash.
If you can call it a trailer, it was the. So you never saw Jurassic World.
Leonardo da Vinci. That's a Marvel character that I'd like. I swear to God, Leonardo da Vinci is in the Marvel comics.
That's what I've heard, yeah. We're not on that anymore.
I just thought of it.
Get your head out of the game. No, get your head in the game.
Get your head out of the gutter.
And get in the game.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Into the game. Right into the game. So you never saw Jurassic World.
What is a gutter?
They're on the roofs.
Because I thought they were like in the sidewalk. Isn't
Those
that
drains.
So drains and gutters are different.
Yeah.
Okay.
A gutter is a drain for your roof.
Oh shit!
So your
Sky
roof,
drains.
Your roof is slanted, right? I mean, all right, real quick. I have to explain this.
Yeah, explain this to me.
Your roof is slanted.
I'd bet parents.
Right, and so the water rolls off, and instead of falling onto like the ground, for some reason apparently you don't want that, it goes into the gutters, down into the gutters, down a gutter like tube, and then out somewhere else
Into the storm drain.
Storm drain.
So they work in tandem to
Yes. Yeah.
They work in tandem.
Yeah. So anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about you're about to.
I was gonna
pop some knowledge on me.
I was gonna go off on Jurassic World.
Oh, you're gonna
You've
go off
never
on
seen
Jurassic
Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, well no, you can.
Why
talk
didn't
about
you
it.
see Jurassic World?
I heard it was not good. I heard it was bad. I watched a Red Letter Media review, and they looked miserable. They looked bad, and also the trailer didn't do anything for me because I was like, I remember hearing Chris Pratt is in Jurassic World, and I was like, ooh, interesting. And then I'm watching the trailer, and it's most of it is just him and Bryce Dallas Howard talking back and forth.
She's horrible in that movie,
and all the dialogue was so cringy and bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, yikes! If the dialogue and is cringy and bad in the trailer, it's like how. Like doesn't give me much faith that this is gonna be.
Okay, so I saw this movie, and I thought it was enjoyable, but bad. So I liked it, but I knew it wasn't a good movie.
Colin Trevor.
Who's that?
Colin Trevor.
I knew the name, but who is it?
He got Han Solo'd. He got Star Wars Episode 9. He got Phil and Lord Millard. He got Colin Trevorrow. We'll call it Colin
Is he an
Trevorrow.
actor or director?
He's a director.
He's a director.
Yeah.
Okay.
He directed Safety Not Guaranteed, and then he did Jurassic World. Is he doing Lost Kingdom? No, it's someone else. We found out it was somebody else, right? Didn't we? It was like a French guy. It was like Fabien.
Who's doing
Fabien Jardin?
Jurassic World?
The new one. Yeah, Last Kingdom. The 10th Kingdom. Do you remember?
It's the Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
J.A. Boyana.
Boy, I fucking knew it was like French. Or he's not
Oh,
French.
yeah, the Monster Calls movie. That's right. I knew that.
Oh. That's interesting.
It's crunching away over there on your own encyclopedia that. This is why it's important to wear headphones, because then we can hear the chewing of almonds and the clanging of pots that my mom seems to be putting away in cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
And right underneath us, I can hear those.
Are you guys prepared for war?
Yeah, we're just... yeah. Well, it's spaghetti night, so we put all the big pots away.
Spaghetti night.
So this trailer didn't really say anything, do anything. It had the piano version of the Jurassic Park theme.
Didn't the last one have that,
which
too?
the last one had as well. Which I liked in the last one, and now this one is just doing it again.
Hey, if the dope broke, if it's not breaking, don't break it. If you haven't broken anything, don't break anything.
I'm pretty sure that's the saying. I think you got it.
Yeah. I read a lot of quote books.
So yeah, this trailer just was boring. I didn't care about it. Didn't do anything.
Nothing happened. It was a shot of Chris Pratt's face going, "Oh," and then a shot of Bryce Dallas Howard's face going, Howard. She's forcing me to say her whole name, so that's
how it's gonna be.
Weird. I'm gonna say it weird.
She's forcing me.
just call yourself BD Howard or Bryce DH.
How about just Bryce Howard?
Just Bryce Howard, yeah. Bryce or just
these hyphenated names are confusing, aren't they?
Bryce Dice Howe. Bryce Dice Howe.
Bright Eye.
Bright Eye.
Bright Eye Howe.
Bright Eye Howe. Yeah. Bright Eye Howe. That's a badass nickname.
That's probably what they call her on set. Bright Eye Howe. And she hates it.
And she's like, stop it.
She throws her heels at people.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's the other thing too. Is people talked about how she ran in heels in the movie, and that was unrealistic.
I think my least favorite part of that movie was the hybrid monster they created, dinosaur.
The I-Rex. I heard about that.
Because it's not as fun. I like the classic dinosaurs.
It knew that the tracker was inside of it because it remembered when they put it in.
There was one really good scene from that movie was when they train. The raptor training was cool. It was a really cool new idea.
Oh, right, he's riding the motorcycle.
And he rides motorcycles, and they're like hound dogs.
They spoiled that in the trailer.
They did spoil that in the trailer. Shouldn't have done that because it's the best part of the movie. So this movie, I don't know if it has a hybrid creepy monster thing.
Probably.
So if it's just classic dinosaurs, I'm actually a little bit more excited for this one.
I mean, it might be the same people writing it, too.
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
Freaking, what is it, James Vanderfrau? The 80. Do you know that guy? Or it might be James Vanderbilt or something. I don't know what his name is. But there's a dude named James, like, Vander something. Or I think that's what his name is. And he's, like, 80-something years old. He's old as fuck. And he's been writing on, like, every superhero movie for years. Like, especially the Spider-Man movies. All the way from, like, the 1970s up to now. He's
still going.
He always has his hand in everything. It's super weird.
His shaky old hand. I feel like it's very shaky.
He's like, listen, you gotta. I was running around with Stan Lee, and we were drinking soda pops after school, and he told me all the secrets about Spider-Man. You know, I know his name is Peter Parker. I know his name.
He's saying that he knows things that everybody else knows.
Listen, his secret identity is Spider-Man. Yeah, no, we just like culturally we get that.
We're aware of that fact.
All right, listen, hotshot. He gets upset.
Yeah, but I know where he got his powers. It's like, yeah.
I feel like people from the 40s would not be able to handle like nerds of today with all the fucking like technology they have, like to fucking comicsology and fucking wikis and everything. Of like, all right, so we got a guy, and he's kind of like a teenager, but he's a bug, and he's like, what am I doing? And the guy's like, so when Parker was fighting the Celestials in this issue, and Jameson was the new symbiote, do you find that there's a continuity error? And the guy's like, all right, back up, Jack.
But he shoots webs out of his hands.
Listen, baby, you don't need all this continuity.
So, working at the movie theater, there's something I've noticed, speaking of old people in superhero movies, that's really strange. They hate superhero movies. This woman came up to me, right? This woman came up to me the other day, and she goes, looking at the movies, and she goes, what is Justice League about? I was like, oh, superhero movie, Batman, Superman. She goes, ugh. And like rolled her eyes, like ugh. Like didn't even let me finish. I'm like, what do you have against superhero movies?
Well, maybe because she kind of, I think their generation didn't really get any.
She's like, that superhero movie killed my husband.
My husband was he became a superhero movie, and now
and I never saw him again.
He flew off into the sky. He became a superhero.
Those damn capes.
Those goddamn capes. I'm a cop now.
Okay, that's all I have.
I
think we're gonna let's talk about Nirvana the band, the show.
Nirvana the band.
Real talk.
So I have to ask, did you have how much? Because there was an old web series,
yes,
right?
That I've seen most of the old web series.
You've seen most of it,
but not only once, like a long time ago. I have to go back and watch them all, but they're hard to find because I
took them down.
I took them all down.
Yeah,
so like I can't watch them now
because they're they're redoing them in the new show, like all that stuff with like the blindness.
Yeah,
that was an episode,
right?
Like there was a flashback to one of the episodes in the first episode, like it's them.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that they just lead right into it. That episode, yeah.
And I think that's a kind of a good thing because it's a good nod for fans, and they can make these jokes better. I've noticed like references in the like when Matt goes blind, it plays Going Up the Country in the old web series, and it plays it in the new one too.
Right.
So they're like doubling down on their references. It's so funny.
So this is a very obscure show. Explain what it is and who these people are.
Okay. Nirvana the band is essentially...
We're not talking about Nirvana like the
band.
Actual band.
That's the most confusing thing, which is played for laughs in the show,
but
in real life is actually confusing to explain to people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've had that.
Nirvana the band?
The band. Yeah. All right, so what is it? Go ahead.
They are... It's a mockumentary show, basically, that is made by like two really... or not just two, but it's a team of really talented filmmakers about a two-man band, which is not really a band. It's more of one person who can play piano by ear really well.
Yeah, he's very talented.
And then another person who does, as what he says, Vox. Do you remember that episode? And he starts explaining like the Cranberries. He's like the Cranberries are the Cardigans invented it. And and the kid's like, who are the Cranberries? And then he starts explaining the premise behind
the
Zombie.
Yeah, and then doesn't he go into Terminator or something like that, or is that a different episode?
That's later in the episode.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We thought you were a goner, like John Connor. And it's like, who's John Connor? John Connor is the leader of theirs.
Okay, and he just goes into it. Yeah,
they take breaks from the show to explain references and to explain inside jokes in a way that is like so beautiful. It's actually...
You never finished talking about what it's about. Okay, so...
Oh, yeah.
So they have this they're... Yeah, okay, so they have this
And they
group.
make the show backwards.
Right. So they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why the show... Like, because he's gone on... The creator of the show went on interviews and basically says, like... The reason that the show, like... is like there's all this cool foreshadowing and all these fun little moments is because they already know what's going to happen, and so they just film everything backwards.
Right.
So they're building it like in for instance like the moment where they're in the first episode they got to go to Sears. That's a plot point. They're at the library. They go to Sears. They had already shot the Sears stuff. Or they already knew they were going to do that.
Oh, okay. And then they made the kids say Sears, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have to make it.
What we're talking about here is that they do this really awesome thing where they film in the real world, and the reactions that people they get,
a lot of them are
genuine reactions.
Yeah,
so they perform their parts in front of a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And the cameramen are always on to look at who's listening and what people are doing around them.
It's interesting. It's not like it's inspired by that like shows like the Ali G show and like Sacha Baron Cohen and all his stuff, but it's not that, because that is very much like Sacha confronting people with his character, but they are two characters who are trying to live a story, and there's just the collateral damage of people watching them around them. So they're trying to... It's almost like watching live theater. It's filmed live theater. Filmed, improvised, live theater. It's very interesting. It's very, very cool. Like, what are some of your favorite things about it?
Well, it's the fact that, like, through most of it, you can't really tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah. There's a lot of craft. There's a lot of ambition to it too.
Yeah, so it's just like I don't like you can't tell. So there's clearly some actors who are planted in the crowds and things like that, but you can't really tell. Like, we can't tell, and that's what makes it really cool. So the whole time you're watching, you're trying to figure out like, is that real? And then you get really uncomfortable and like,
Yeah.
especially during the Star Wars episode where they break into the Star Wars premiere.
Yeah, there's
You
this
get kicked
weird
out.
suspension of disbelief. Because when I watched that episode, I don't know how much of that is them actually getting kicked out or not.
Yeah, like is that entire theater like staged,
Yeah.
or did they actually just like?
Because part of me can see how they would cheat the audio because you never really see anyone's lips moving, and so all you have to do really is just have a couple people. It's dark, so you can't really see. Have a couple people run to the front with flashlights, shoot Matt and Jay leaving, and then have the audio of people saying thank you and clapping without having to show them clapping.
But there's that far away like scene of like where like
But it's so realistic that
it's
it feels
far away and you see the movie happening,
Yeah.
and like the flashlights are being shined on the screen, and like people would be like, "What the heck's going on?" Like, it's weird. And then there's that part right after where the people who own the theater come out. They're like, "Do you have permission to be filming?" Like that was clearly real.
Yeah, that was real. Well, because I'm curious as to why they're like, you guys have to leave right now, right? They said that to him, and a very aggressive theater. I mean, like, it's so funny in our time at the theater.
Yeah.
I don't know how aggressive we've ever been kicking somebody out.
No, right, exactly.
Like I can't remember a single time that's ever happened.
For filming, especially, no one films,
Yeah.
So yeah, like was
You gonna do a camera for? It's like, all right, man. Good luck. Good luck.
Look at that. Yeah, so that's probably one thing I really love about it, and and also another favorite part is it's the random stopping. Like they middle of like the scene where Jay is talking and he just randomly is like, what's crazy? That we live in this world of dark matter. Like it's just so random and stuff like that happens, and I love that.
And they give it time to breathe.
Right, because I feel like they get like they're in the middle of the scene. A lot of it's improvised.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment when they're talking and they're like, "Let's pretend like it's like a
let's
show."
pretend like it's at the
Yeah.
end of a like of a late
Totally
night show.
random, has nothing to do with the episode, but it's like a perfectly executed little moment.
Yeah, and then even when it returns from the commercial break, like the logo and everything, like it goes completely.
It's so good.
Yeah, so I feel like they get ideas in their heads. Like that's not like
so
scripted.
much ambition.
That's just the actors. That's just the people being like, "Hey, let's do this thing."
Yeah.
And they just film the whole thing. They don't cut.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it works really well.
It's
so different from anything else.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, and it's self-sustaining because like you don't need they essentially show like what you can do when you have a lot of ambition and a very little budget. I mean, I'm sure they have somewhat of a budget, but it's still compared to like other shows. I'm sure it's not anything insane, and so the fact that they're able to kind of like play in their own sandbox, and that they have control of the process relatively, is it's I mean, to quote to quote Full Screen, power to the creators.
Yeah, power to the creators, right.
Whatever happened to Full Screen? Are they still around?
Clearly not around anymore.
That I gotta say, that was a prime H3H3 goof.
Yeah, that's
Power to
true.
the creators.
Yeah, power to the creators.
Ethan getting so upset.
Yeah.
I like sidebar. It's fun to see how far H3H3 has come.
It's fun, but it's also kind of sad.
I know, because they're kind of in decline.
Yeah, they're in decline, and they're not the same as they used to be.
That's true. I guess that's
Ethan's
happens when people get
a lot.
successful.
He's changed a lot, and he's still funny, but he's not the same.
Do you think he's?
I think it's
he's more
good.
negative.
I think he's more negative. He's more. I don't know. He's more angry. It's just like it's bad for him, but it's good.
Well,
for
he doesn't do reaction videos anymore.
It's good for Ela though.
Oh yeah,
I think she's
been
great right
flourishing.
now. Yeah.
She got her Teddy Fresh line.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm like so stoked for them.
Yeah.
But like I feel it's the same thing that happened with JonTron. Well, although JonTron, did you hear about what happened with him?
No.
Is he like went on a really like racist rant, and so he kind of got like a bunch of people like stopped supporting him. But before that happened, before he let his true opinions be known, he did this thing where he would try to upgrade the quality of his show by like instead of it being just like him in his apartment talking about Goosebumps or video games with his friends, it eventually turned to him in his set in a studio, and a lot of fans were like, "This is weird. Like this is like because it's great to have ambition, of course, but it has to be a cohesive ambition that is not only what the audience is looking for in terms of what the artist is delivering, but also like it has to have some like clear linear mode. You know what I mean? There has to be some thing that makes it acceptable. Like I remember the Vape Nation video from H3. That video was really part of me thinks like they've gone on the record saying that that's the best video they made.
I don't think it is at all.
Interesting.
No, I just...
I mean, they're old.
I like it. It's kind of funny, but like, it's not amazing to me. Like, I wasn't laughing out loud at it.
Right.
I was like, this is amusing.
I think it's their most popular.
It's their most popular, and I don't think it's their best though.
Yeah, that's fair. But I noticed it. It was interesting because it didn't feel like too much of a departure from their aesthetic. But since they've done that, they've tried to recreate it a couple more times. And it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
No, only once.
The hats?
The lookbook.
Oh, the lookbook's really good.
That was great.
I liked parts of when he stacked the 200 beanies.
Oh yeah, that stuff.
And it was just him walking around that I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Why do you think he's so negative? I'm actually kind of concerned about that. Because
why do I think he's negative? Because of where he lives.
Because he lives in L.A.?
Yeah, L.A. and California. You lived there for a while, but I feel like you lived there as a young person, as an older person. Everyone's just really like...
Well, the property values are insane.
Everybody's just really grumpy. All right, so there's something about the celebrity life that's just like... There's so much drama, there's so much beef, and it's really tiring.
Well, there's this weird thing...
And everybody's always trying to one-up each other.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, really, I don't know.
That's the thing I didn't like about the industry circles in... LA, and that I never was really in, but I was always like kind of skirting around.
Yeah.
And there was this idea of like you sat, and especially in like production assistant culture and even in improv culture, this idea that you sacrifice yourself and your artistic impulse and ambition to be like the idea to be grateful to be a grunt, and it's part of me is like. It's so weird. I'm like, if you want to be a writer, then write. If you want to be a director, then direct. Part of me is like, I understand the idea of getting experience as a PA, but it's like, you have to really know what you want. And I feel like so many people become PAs because they want to get involved in the industry. And it's like, it's so weird. It's like wanting to become a gourmet chef and starting as like a dishwasher. It's like, okay, you can do that, but it'd be better if you just learn to cook.
Yeah.
If just do the thing you're supposed to do. And it's like, well, people aren't going to let me direct. And it's like, well, then like one of the most common things from my favorite directors, they're like, make your own opportunities. That's really it. Like digital video equipment is relatively cheap. You can write something self-contained. Like, and if good stuff gets seen, good stuff gets made. And there's people who make bad stuff that are super successful. So it's like, if you make something good, you'll be successful. If you make something bad, you could just as easily be successful.
Yeah.
It's like, it just depends on doing the work.
Yeah.
But people confuse doing the work with servicing the identity of the culture versus servicing the art itself. Like, if something's a bad project, you don't want to support it. You don't want to, you want to support your friends if you're like helping them on a video project or something. But if it's bad, you're like, you don't feel any, connection to the art. That's why when bad movies get made, it's almost always because people are doing it for money, because they're like, they feel no connection to this an artistic way, but they're like, money kind of fills that void for a little bit.
So, okay, we just covered so much. All right. So, we went from Nirvana the band, the show.
Well, it's all connected because it's about people who are creating their own content.
Yeah. Okay.
Working outside the system.
I think the reason why a show like Nirvana the band, the show works so well is because it's not in a place like LA.
Right. It's in like Toronto.
It's in Toronto where like nothing's really happening.
Right. That's a good point.
And that's what makes it work so well.
I think there's a problem with LA being an entertainment capital, where things aren't like, they don't stand out. You know, like they don't. It just feels like more of the same.
Yeah.
And not more of the same as in producing the same content, but it's like really good stuff can feel like it's like, yeah, that's the norm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it isn't. Like, there's a lot of bad stuff that gets made, and it's like, but they always compare it. There's this weird thing in Los Angeles where it's like values are different.
Yeah.
Of what makes something good. Everyone has a different value on what makes... Because, I mean, I guess you could argue art is subjective. But I would argue that when something is good, it's... There's a percentage of people that like it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you can always rely on that you know, outpouring of support. Which is why stuff like Nirvana the band and H3H3 is successful, is because I think they target niche audiences in particular.
So I think what's happening with H3 is that he's trying to target everybody.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
That's true. Yeah, they're trying to expand.
Which is, you can't fault them for that, but like at the same time, it's just, that's why it doesn't feel like the same old stuff.
I want them to expand. I want them to take their old format of doing the reaction views, but I want them to do that to fix the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know how like iDubbbz Content Cop is kind of trying to, he's in his own way, he's trying to change the face of the internet.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what H3H3 used to do back in the day. Like even though we meme on DJ Khaled, he was trying to point out something that there was an aesthetic of success, especially in the Khaled videos, media success that perpetuates itself.
Ethan's reason for not doing reaction videos is because he says we become too big, and if we do a reaction video on someone, we'll destroy them.
Right.
So there are so many things, big things. Like rappers. Rappers will never get touched.
Make fun of, like, you can make fun of anything. It's like you can
make fun of film directors.
Yeah.
For making bad movies.
World events, anything.
Yeah.
Like people, celebrities, like you can do whatever you want.
And like it's even,
I think that's why the Pepsi thing was such a great, like I felt so happy for them that they got that Pepsi thing.
Yeah.
Because like that was such a great goof.
Yeah. So, but even for me, I maybe just be picky, but like when I say go back to the old form, like even as simple as, instead of like, I don't like it when he added in, he puts in the footage and he posts, adds in narration. Mm-hmm. I like the raw, just filming him as he looks at it at a computer screen.
It's more natural.
It's more natural. It felt less scripted, and it was more fun.
And he's a performer. Like, you watch H3 to watch
him.
Ethan's act outs.
Yeah, and
it's just like stand-up.
When it's just listening to him narrate things, it's not. It's like, okay, I don't care. It could be anybody. And his podcast needs to be still. It's getting better,
tightened up,
but it's still so. He's so like, let's look at this video. Let's take a call. And then like he'll be like, "What am I doing?" And then
like you're just hanging out.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing? Like have some structure, you know. Like it's okay to go off on tangents and rants like we do all the time, but like.
But I think with them, because they're more successful and because they have a wider audience, I feel like they have a little bit more responsibility to articulate the way they entertain people a little bit better.
About 80% of it is him going, what's the guy's name? Dan? Dan, how do I do this? And it's just like, oh God, figure it out.
So spot on. That's great.
It's just like it's frustrating. It's like, oh my God.
Then 5 seconds later you hear the slamming soundboard effect.
Yeah. Slamming. I got it. Hang on.
Thank you, Terry.
Okay, anyway. So Nirvana the Band show, I think we've touched on most of it. I don't want to talk about too much in case no one's seen this, so like we don't want to like give away so much, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm very looking forward to season 2. It's out now, but nothing's been released in the US yet.
Which is,
we'll get it.
I hate this. I don't know. I mean, it's not connected to net neutrality, but I just hate the idea of borders for media.
Yeah, how like the United States and like England have different shows on Netflix.
Yeah, and like, because part of me, like, I mean, I'm learning this in my foreign policy class, and we're kind of seeing it in the world. Is that one of the biggest things that helps create, I don't want to say world peace, but cooperation among countries is soft power through foreign media coming into other countries. It's like that bridges so many gaps, culturally. And it's like, when you restrict media, when you region lock your fucking Blu-rays, then it's like, Jesus, like, you can't disseminate this. And it's like I understand, you want to get paid for your work and like you want to stop piracy. It's like, yeah, that's fine, but you also have to look at, the academic side of I think there's a lot of studies showing that piracy actually in a lot of ways helps sales because it boosts word of mouth. Not to say, advocating for it.
Right, no, I know what you mean. No,
you need to control the way, because when you block something, when you make something like, like prohibitive, people are just going to try to find a way around it.
Yeah.
Versus giving people a way to support the artist,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
We'll get the second season eventually. I mean, it has to come out eventually. Or if it doesn't come out here, someone will leak it and we'll get it and we'll find it somewhere. It's just really, it's such a small show. It's hard to like find just versions of it. Like, it's hard to even watch the first season.
Anyway. Oh yeah. I watched it. I use my Google movies. I buy them off Google.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I would
really
buy
good.
this season. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
And they released the first episode for free on YouTube back in the day.
Yeah, I was waiting for the second season episode one. But.
Yeah, why didn't they do that? Because I don't know how their viewership is
in Canada.
Yeah, like maybe
they have a subreddit which I follow, and it's like not
they
that
have a subreddit.
It's not that many people, but yeah, they do have one.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, they post there's a lot of links being like, here's season 2, episode 2, and then you click on it and it's down. You're like, okay, never mind. But I'm waiting, I'm still waiting on it. Let's move on.
Should be soon.
To our last segment.
What's our last segment?
Opinions
from the future.
Opinions from the future.
I love that.
I know you.
I like psychosomatically. Psychosomatic, right? It's like I'm saying it.
Subconsciously? Psychosomatic. I don't know if that's correct. It sounds right. It's fancy. It's a fancy word. All right.
He's crazy and like
it's 5 years in the future. Great song. The Avalanche. Can you think of anything that talks other than a person?
Yeah.
A bird. And it does like that. I still have that song on my iPod, and it's like the weirdest song I have. Look up, what's it called? Frontier Psychiatrist by the Avalanches.
Frontier Psychiatrist.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Next, that's Criminally Insane.
The music video is even weirder.
Oh yeah. It's like all these different.
It's got that like dude's head on a turtle.
What does that mean? I love it. It's great.
He's a nut. Crazy in the coconut.
Okay, so opinions from the future.
It's 5 years in the future.
What do we talk about?
You just got back from your trip from New Hawaii, which is...
New Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's your trip to New Hawaii?
New Hawaii. I gotta say,
You went there for the premiere of Jurassic World, right?
I did, yeah. Because they were like... It was this weird thing where they had like...
They filmed part of it there, I think.
They did it too with the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie, where they were like, they filmed there, and they did it to tax write-off. And the weirdest thing happened because it's like New Hawaii... We all know the story of New Hawaii. Is that it was Elon Musk's experiment to terraform one of the... an island off the coast. It was not even an island. Essentially like a permafrost glacier off the coast of Alaska. So it's like... Can the tropical climate sustain in this environment?
Real quick,
and it kind of worked.
On that note, do you think it was necessary to like send up satellites and like geostorm it down into the ground instead of just like doing it there?
Was it necessary? No. Was it fucking awesome?
Yeah.
Yes. Like honestly, highlight of the year. I was like, oh shit! Like I just like what like I mean everyone's watching on their phone, but it's like it's just
year
so
2022.
Cool. 2022. That was a good year. Yeah. I was like, woo. Anyways, so Wow, that's only 5 years away. That's actually
It's
like
terrifying.
low key.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's really weird, isn't it?
2022. Because as soon as you get, because part of it's like 2018, that feels
Fine.
normal.
2019, sure.
As soon as you get into 2020s, that's because that's all the future stuff in like all the
It
movies. we've
feels
grown
like
up
it
on.
did when we got to 2000 and when we got to 2010. Like,
Oh, really?
this is
Interesting.
weird. Like, it's a change of pace. Because, like, all of a sudden it was 2008, 2006, 2002,
Right,
2011. Like, what do you say? Like,
What do you say to that? No, we're staying 2011 forever. We're not. Well, you can't wear the glasses anymore.
what was the... Yeah, that's true. What do you do with a...
Or you could probably do 2020. You do
Yeah, through the
0,
What did they do for 2011?
Oh yeah, just the one in the middle.
Yeah, it's really
Gross.
bad. Okay, so real quick, speaking of years, we say 2010. What was the abbreviation for like 2008? Was it just 08?
I think it's called the aughts, right? Is that what it's called? The aughts?
I have no idea.
I think it's.
But we just said 08, 09, but you can't say 010.
Oh wait,
So you say
That's-
2010.
At our high school. That's what all like during a pep rally, all the class would say. They would say like the seniors and the juniors would shout their years at each other. So you'd hear like 07, and then somebody would be like 08.
and we'd be like 2022.
And then and then some freshmen are like 1-1. It's very cute.
So anyway,
It's
we were
very
talking about New Hawaii.
oh yeah, New Hawaii.
Yeah, you were talking about it.
Elon
I
Musk
feel like you had something to say.
experiment. So the weird thing is that culturally, a lot of people from Hawaii left, right? Because they're like, I mean, you know, they're having the island problem, which is that
too
as the
too many
population, too many bugs, too many bugs.
$3.
It's, I mean, I don't know how to account for it. I think it's that thing where it's like when the climate changes, all the bugs. You know that there's like a bug highway in the sky. Do you know that?
I don't
That's
know.
like real.
Wait, you dead serious?
Yeah, that's real. There's like when you go up in the sky high enough, it's like all bugs.
Is it kind of like the jet stream in like the ocean, like Finding Nemo, where they're
I
all
think
like
so.
flying through?
Yeah, something just like that.
Wow.
It's really creepy and weird. I'm surprised that airplanes don't hit it.
They must hit it. I mean, whatever though. They're airplanes.
That's true. I just imagine the windshield being
Cake.
caked with bugs.
They just
And they're
turn on
like,
their little
"Oh,
windshield
God."
wipers. Do you know planes do have windshield wipers?
They do. They must
Yeah.
be gigantic.
No, the windows are like really. Yeah, they're real.
That's interesting. I always imagine the cockpit is as big as the front of the plane itself.
No,
But that's
it's just
probably
a
not
little two
accurate.
seats. Not really.
A two-seater. Anyways, so
Yeah.
people from Hawaii leaving
Yeah.
because the bugs,
Bugs.
bug problem.
Yeah, but
Shitload of ladybugs, which I don't think ladybugs are even tropical, so that's a full thing in its own.
yeah, we'll talk about that next time.
We'll talk about the ladybug tropical migration.
To Hawaii.
Rats with wings, and so people are leaving Hawaii, going to New Hawaii, but it's the weird thing that happens is like now these movies are shooting in New Hawaii, but the people who live there are claiming that instead of being like a tax benefit or a tax write-off, that this is a situation where they're disrespecting their culture. But it's at the same time, it's like,
But-
this is an invented state.
What's
This
weird is that
invented
Elon
land.
Musk never invited anybody.
He didn't.
They just showed up, and he's like, "This is my island. Get off." And
This
they're
is
like,
my island.
he's like, "No, this was for me." And he's just standing there watching people get on.
Shirtless, he had a spear in his head. This is my island.
But like and there's like a flag, and it's all ripped, and it just says Elon, whatever his logo is, the Tesla logo, or whatever. And no one's listening to him; they're just walking by.
What's his catchphrase? Electricity or something.
Elontricity.
Electricity.
Elon Musk is a creepy dude. I think
I feel bad for
Weirds me out.
Elon Musk. Have you seen that footage of him and his wife talking?
he's like a terrible husband, apparently.
He's not. Well, okay. I don't think he's a bad husband. I just think he's a bit of a pushover, and I think that he has bad.
Imagine trying to tell him that he's wrong about something,
Well, he would be like, okay.
like in a domestic dispute.
He would probably say, "You're right."
You're like, you didn't wash the dishes. You said you did, but you didn't.
I didn't.
But he's like the smartest man in the world. Like, how do you admit defeat?
I had to build a rocket ship.
Yeah, I built a rocket ship.
I've built a rocket ship.
All right, I think we're out of time here.
You didn't send my mom flowers for her birthday. Yeah, I was building a rocket ship.
All right.
It's the Reed Richards problem.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, did you just like reference the second Fantastic Four movie?
No, or
He missed his wedding because he was like building a rocket ship, didn't he?
I mean, I think that's in the movies, but that's more. I take that from the comics more than anything. But yeah, it is a big plot point in the movies.
I think it's a plot point. Yeah. All right. Anything
But
else?
that's the thing. That's actually, this is kind of a weird sidebar about Reed Richards. Yeah. That's the interesting about Reed Richards is, from what I've read briefly in any issues he's in, Reed Richards is kind of a psychopath. Like, it's interesting that Doom is his villain, because
Doom's the good guy all of a sudden.
Doom's kind of honest about how much of an asshole he is, and why he's doing what he's doing.
Reed Richards is like
Reed is like not even a person. His mind is totally like the Fantastic Four's a front. Like Johnny and Ben need to hold on to something, need family, and Sue, she's like, she divorced Reed. I don't know if they're together. They're probably back together in the comics because continuity gets fucked up. Yeah, but like Reed Richards is like, it was always the thing is like he's torn between his science and his family, and it's like, and which one is he gonna choose? But it's like, he is all science, he's all math, and that's the only thing he believes in. And that's fucking scary.
That could be an interesting character to see, but I feel like they didn't really do
that. And then it's just fucking, whoa, I'm dancing and I'm stretchy.
And his clothes are stretchy. That's the worst.
Why are his clothes stretchy? I never thought of that. That's so weird.
Because they weren't in the first one. All right, we're done here. We gotta cut it. Otherwise, we're gonna keep going off on things. Thanks for checking us out.
Oh yeah.
Like I said last time, we're on YouTube. We're on iTunes.
Look
us up on iTunes.
God, how much does it cost on iTunes?
It's free.
What a deal.
Yeah. Let's go on your little fancy little podcast app.
Get out your iTunes gift card. Type in free.
And then buy something else with it.
Buy something else.
Like a movie or something. Don't buy music with iTunes gift cards.
Can you buy movies on iTunes?
Yeah.
I don't use iTunes.
Are you serious? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, whatever. Either way, we're on iTunes, meaning we're on the
Well, it's weird because it's like saying, welcome to the music store. You want to buy a movie?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
iTunes. come watch, get your new video game off iTunes.
Listen to us.
Like, they really fuck themselves.
Find us on YouTube. Find us on Instagram, where we post everything that we do on there.
Wait, is there I'm like learning so much. I didn't even know there was an Instagram.
Yeah, we have an Instagram.
I think we need to change how we find the podcasts. I have trouble finding the podcast on YouTube.
Well, that's why I have Instagram.
It's a shortcut. That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, you subscribed, right, to YouTube?
I did subscribe, but I also don't check my subscribes. I just
that's what it is.
Because I search
Connor
it every time.
Don't be like Connor.
But I have to search it like invested, like IN space.
It's dash vested, and then just write podcast.
I just want to search my name and then have it come up.
Yeah, not yet. No, all you need to do is type in dash vested and then write podcast afterwards, and it'll come up.
In dash vested. Yeah. Okay. What I've been doing
you have to write podcast after.
I type disaster artist Superman, and then usually it's the first one that comes
That's
up.
So random. All right, thanks for whatever.
Thanks for all the memories.
We'll see you next time. I don't know what we're gonna do next time.
Bye.
We'll find something.
Oh, it's gonna be a treat.